What is Locked In, KJ, and how did Locked In come about? How did this all come together the way that it has?
Yeah, I mean, locked in has way too many there's way too many definitions or way too many even vehicles that it serves. And how it came about, I mean, it really came about by the fusion of you and I. Honestly, I would say that that's how it came about. I would say that my mechanical and journey as a player, in terms of understanding the position and what things I needed to change myself to become the best quarterback that I could be physically and just as a player. And then you being in college football, mentoring guys through college football, you wanting to be a college football coach, and then stepping out of that industry because you realized how limiting that was and you wanted to do something bigger, and taking what I had just experienced and how I had the biggest growth in terms of myself as a player, and fusing those mechanics, that ideology behind how we play the position with your background of how we want to impact young quarterbacks and how, like messed up this whole quarterback world is in terms of just the recruiting process, just the entire thing, really. And so when you put those two together, that is what Locked In is. It's a service, it's a community for people to come together and to openly talk about the position, openly, discuss mentally where they're at. That's so much of your focus. So I'm having trouble just because that's everything that you're like very bought into, and I'm very bought into as well. But that's like your baby, and so just with developing guys as men and as players mentally on and off the field, and combining that with the mechanic side as my piece, is really what Locked In is really just about becoming our best selves, whether it's on the field, whether it's just as a person in society. And that's really what Locked In is. It's a lifestyle. It's how you do all things is, yeah, how you do anything is how you do all things. It's all about just starting to notice your habits, starting to notice anything that's detracting you from where you want to go, exposing you to your own BS and stuff that you struggle with and stuff that you need to
And giving you a platform to talk about it, man. Giving you a platform to talk about it, as you said, the community, just being able to share it. And that was going to be my follow-up to everything you just said, because I just love hearing the way you say it, because as KJ and I discuss often, like KJ and I are very different people, yet we love each other and are extremely close. And we see the world, like if there are two types of people, type A and type B, like let's call KJ type A and Austin type B. Like this guy is a very analytical thinker. I am a very abstract thinker. So like as you combine those two things, like he's talking about, you get a vast perspective, and ultimately we're passionate about a lot of these things. And I was going to ask you, based on the answer that you just gave, like what role do you think adversity has played in Locked In becoming a thing? Talk about that for a second.
Oh yeah, I mean, without adversity and without our journeys personally, Locked In wouldn't be a thing. It's been the complete like fusion of both of our adversities at the same time, coming to not a conclusion, but kind of an uphill where we started to figure it out and started to step into like what we actually wanted to represent or how we even actually wanted to go about our business. I was stuck in my college days at UW, and I was kind of in that rut for a while, and then I was able to climb out of that piddle. And same thing with you, like you stepped out of the college world, and those combined at the exact same time for our adversities to match up at the exact same time to fuse together to now provide something for guys that are going through a very similar experience that we went through because we played this position, we did it in college, and so we're helping guys understand that journey, what it's going to look like, what it's going to be like, what they might experience. And so adversity is everything. And so actually taking on that adversity and noticing it and reflecting on it and then sharing that with other guys instead of, having them under the idea that it's going to be a golden road and it's going to be perfect, because it's not. It's not.
And that obviously within the psychological world is going to play heavily into my answer to the next question, but I want your answer to the next question, which is, through your eyes, not mine, our collective vision along with, Taj and Christian, like this is all coming together in a beautiful way. But what is your objective and what is your goal and what is your vision for what you see Locked In doing for the community at large, just in general?
Yeah. I think it changes every day in terms of the way that I see it. Like it starts, like it started for me kind of, just as I wanted to help guys. I wanted to help guys initially through my experience of, not experiencing what I experienced at UW, not falling flat on their face because of something that was holding them back. So what I want to provide them with is mechanics and stuff that, allow them to become the best player that they can be so that they don't have to experience hitting that pitfall of doubting themselves and not feeling confident in their ability as a football player. But I think as it expands, it's so much more than that, as opposed to, it's not just about being the best player, and it's so much more about just the community at large of us all just supporting each other and understanding that we're all in this thing together and that we're all going through it. We're all battling different battles. Some guys come in as a freshman and ball out right away. Some guys don't play right away or don't play at all. And so, but no matter what, it's all part of our journeys, it's all part of our experience. And so Locked In for me is just a place really where it's just a community of guys that can really just like talk about their experiences and come together and become the best player that they can be, but also that it's so much more than that. And it's about family and it's about just all of us becoming the best people that we can be as well.
Dude, and using each other as resources, like what you're talking about, I think, one of the things that I love about the way that we coach is we talk about how when we're out training on the field, like, look, guys, like this is a laboratory, not a competition. And like while we're out here, we're here to support each other and discuss with each other what we're doing. And I don't care if you guys play each other once a year on Saturdays or Friday nights, like we're going to help each other while we're out here. And we've noticed, a community that has loved and embraced that. And they've obviously, risen in level a lot. Their game is upped a lot. Then we've also seen some guys who, have a problem with that. And so, as you look at those people who may not embrace the things that we're discussing, what do you see in terms of commonalities of kind of any resistance to this way of thinking, or maybe the traditional way that the quarterback market that you and I were raised in, like the ways that it makes you think that we challenge, not intentionally, but simply challenge because we have adversity that we've experienced due to some of those things. What are the things that I guess we're speaking to the young quarterback right now that maybe are things that tripped us up or pushed us down a road that's different than this open mindset, vulnerable, discussing, what we're trying to do, discussing our flaws, discussing our fears, chasing our best self? What are some things that maybe you would warn a younger guy just to watch out for along the process of trying to be great at this position?
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes back to whether you're okay with understanding who you are and being exposed to who you are. If you are afraid of that and scared of what you might find out about yourself, or then you're most likely not going to vibe well with what we're talking about. because we want to be authentic, and we want to be real, and we want to be who we truly are, and be able to talk about who we truly are. We don't want to hide anything from each other, and because that's exactly what we don't stand for. That's exactly what Locked In isn't. Is exactly what we see now on Instagram, and what we see all over the place with just how flashy and everything. And that's not real. That's not who we actually are as players. That's not who we actually are as people. And so if you don't feel that way, then it's going to be kind of tough to kind of gel with us at first. But if you can get around to the idea of exposing yourself to, your own BS, and wanting to grow as a person, and just realizing your own limitations, that doesn't mean that they're limitations that are going to be concrete or that have to hold you back, but just realizing them, so then you're able to push through them in order to unlock these next doors to become the best player, to become the best person that you can be. Then you will be able to jive with us. But yeah, I think that's pretty much any limitation or anything that a young guy might be weary about, is that, hey, like, this isn't going to be an easy process. It's not all about ball, and it's not all about just becoming the best quarterback you can be. We're going to be talking about, like, the psychology and the philosophy behind how you can become better as a person and stuff.